So hopefully you've seen my Takomo 201 iron build video that I just did. I will leave a link in the description down below for that. But today we are breaking out of the shop. We are on the golf course and we are going to put these golf clubs through their paces. I've got the 4 through pitching wedge. We're going to see how they look, how they feel, and how they perform on the golf course. So let's go. Welcome to the Mobile Club Maker. I'm AJ. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm on the golf course, so the day is pretty good right there. And we are going to be testing out these Takomo 201 irons. So we're going to be hitting a variety of shots from a variety of lies just to see sort of what we get out of these irons. Again, I mean, they look great. They are absolutely beautiful when you look at them and look down on them. The price is pretty unbelievable in my opinion for the quality of the look. But none of that's going to matter if they don't perform or if they don't feel good on the golf course. So we're going to hit a bunch of shots, see what we get. Hit the pin. That hit the pin. Let's hit 2 balls on this one. Wow, that had some spin on it. Get up there. Okay, back at the shop to finish up this review of the 201 irons from Takomo. Took these out to the range, took them out to the course, hit a bunch of different shots from a bunch of different lies, different locations, tried to hit some different shots, higher shots, lower shots. Okay, so let's just finish up with going over everything, what I liked, what I didn't like, and finally, do I think that you should look into these irons? So first off, well, the looks. The looks on these irons, they are just beautiful. I think everything about these just says high-end golf club. You know, nothing about the look of this golf club would make me think that the price is what it is for these, because the lines are so clean, the milling work, the forging, the lettering, the fonts, all of it just look really good. The actual look of the head and what it would be sort of comparable to, well, it's definitely a more compact head as far as the blade length, that being from the heel to the toe. It's pretty short, so definitely has a little more of that performance style look to it. But at the same time, it's got a little bit thicker top line. This top line is definitely pretty squared off and pretty thick compared to, you know, more blade style clubs or really thin cavity backs. So it has a little bit more heft to it. It's also, as the entire set goes, it's got a little bit more offset to it than maybe some of the other clubs. And so if you don't like seeing much offset, that may turn you off to these a little bit. But I have to say, overall, you know, those being the 2 big things that maybe I didn't love necessarily at first, the offset and the thicker top line. When it came to the longer clubs, especially the 5-iron and the 4-iron, and like I said, I haven't carried a 4-iron, a traditional 4-iron for a while, I really liked seeing that thicker top line, especially when I set up with that 4-iron, because it just gives you a little more confidence that, yeah, if I miss it a little bit, I'm still going to have some forgiveness there. So I ended up really liking that, I think. Again, the offset, it's a little bit more offset, but again, you know, you could also reduce the offset a little bit by just bending these slightly weaker. I checked all the lofts and lies on these clubs before I started them, and I would say, just as a point of reference, they were all basically plus or minus in the same ballpark as any of the big name OEM brands if you picked up a set off the rack or if you got a set ordered with whatever specs. The specs were pretty much as close as you would find with any of the big name brands. They were all slightly strong, at least in the case of the heads I got, so the pitching wedge came out more like 45 as opposed to 46. So again, if you wanted to, you could bend them a little bit weaker and actually pull a little of that offset out of them just as a option. But again, overall, beautiful looking club, really attractive. Now, obviously, one of the big things, again, that I don't like, and there's no real way around this because this is how they're able to do what they do, but you can't go and just find these in your pro shop, find these at a golf retailer, demo them, hit them, get your hands on them. It's a little tricky. So unless you find someone who actually has them, you're taking a bit of a leap of faith with these because you haven't seen them in person before. So just sort of to give you some sort of point of reference, what they would be similar to, I would say if you are looking at something in the like Mizuno JPX line, the JPX Forged, I would say this is going to be a pretty comparable size type of golf club. The Srixon ZX5, that would be another one that I think would be very similar to this. Callaway Apex Pros, again, will give you similar sort of dimensions to it. TaylorMade P770. So any of those clubs, if you're looking at those clubs, this Takomo 201 I think would fit right in with all those clubs. It's going to have similar profile. The lines are going to be similar. The offset's going to be similar. So I think it would slide right in there pretty well. Now that brings me to my next point, or the next thing that I really like about these is, of course, the price. You can get an entire set of these shafted up with a couple different options for basically $600. So you have the whole club put together. You can do a little bit of customization to it, just a little bit, but again, $600. And if you compare that to all the clubs I just listed that I would say are pretty comparable to this, well, those are all going to run you at least $1,100, $1,200 or more. So this club basically half the price. The other thing I really like about these is, of course, not only can you get them assembled, but like we did here, you can just get the heads and you can build them yourself. So whatever specs, whatever exotic shaft or grip you want to put on there, maybe some more decorative ferrules like these, you can do any of those things because you can just get the heads and build them yourself or take them to someone like me and have them build them up for you exactly custom built to your specifications. Okay, next thing, the feel. I noticed from the first time I got these clubs, this is a very soft metal that they are using. These are very soft. When I put them in the bending machine and was adjusting things, you can tell these are very soft. So it has that soft forged feel / sound that a lot of people are really going to like. It has a great feel. It has a great sound to it when you hit the ball. Now, the one downside to be aware of with that is anytime you have a softer metal head, just be aware it's going to be more prone to get little dings, little dents, little tiny blemishes, little bag chatter just rolling around in the cart or carrying it on your shoulder. So, or, if you're playing desert golf and you hit a little rock or something, it's definitely going to show up with these. But that is the trade-off that you make anytime you have a really soft forged style club. But overall, the feel, the sound was excellent. Finally, the performance, again, took these out, hit a bunch of different shots from a bunch of different lies, hit it off the tee, hit it in different, hit it low, hit it high, different things like that. I hit quite a few 4-irons off the tee just to get a good feel for it. Again, not carrying a 4-iron. And I have to say, I was really impressed with how well that 4-iron worked for me, how well I hit that 4-iron, because again, it's not a club that I usually carry. So the 4, the 5, I thought were really solid. The mid-irons, again, good feel, good flight. And the short irons, I thought, I liked the trajectory. Again, I liked the feel. I liked the way they move through the ground. Again, going back to the look, the leading edge on all these is very straight, which is what most better golfers are usually going to like, a little straighter leading edge. I also definitely like that when it comes into the short irons specifically because it just sets up better. So overall, the performance, again, what I would expect from a forged cavity back iron from any of the big name brands, I got out of these. Distance, again, comparable to what I see with other sets that are similar from other brands. So in all those categories, I feel like these were right up there with the more expensive options. Okay, two last little things that I don't love about these. We're getting pretty nitpicky now, but again, this is my review and I can do what I want with it. So the first one is these hosels in the 201 irons are all 370 tip. And I would have really preferred 355 taper tip. As you might know, I always say that 355 taper tip and constant weight, specifically constant weight shafts, are always my preferred direction to go when it comes to picking out shafts. So you can still use 355 shafts, however, it does require the extra step of shimming them. Now, it's not a big deal, but it would have been nice. I think it would have been better if these were just 355 right out of the box and you could put those shafts straight in, because most of the other golf clubs that I would say are comparable to these as far as the category goes are using 355 hosels. Again, it would just make it a little bit easier, but this is pretty nitpicky from a club builder, so take it for what it's worth. The last thing I'll say, this little notch here that's down underneath here, I just have, I don't know what I want to call it, a warning, just a concern that I notice when you hit these, you're going to get some little grass, a little bit of dirt stuck down in here. And so you're going to want to wash them out, rinse them out. And what I found is that after you do that and you dry them off, you still end up with water, a little bit of water stuck down in this little channel, in this little crevice here. And I just worry that if water stays in there and you don't dry it out, and you leave your clubs in your car, which you shouldn't do, but sometimes you do it, if that water stays in there, you might start to get some rust, something like that. So I would just warn you with these clubs, I think, that you want to make sure when you clean them that you fully dry them afterward so that you don't get any water just hanging out in this little channel, because I could see that causing issues down the road. Okay, so that is my review of the Takomo 201 iron. Remember, we built these from scratch, custom for me. So we have the Takomo 201 iron heads. We've got some True Temper Elevate Tour shafts, some BB&F ferrules, and some Pure Pro grips. So these are definitely custom, sleek looking set of clubs made for me. And these clubs are going to go in my bag, and they're going to remain there for a while, I have a feeling, because I really liked the way they look and performed out on the course. So I would say if you are looking for a set of clubs, maybe you don't feel like dropping over $1,000 on a set of clubs, or maybe you just want something, you know, very customized with a certain shaft that you can't just get anywhere, or you like the more decorative ferrules or different grips, things like that. These will definitely be something I would consider for that. Or if you just have a second set of clubs that you need for, you know, a second house or whatever, a set of these, very simple, very comparable to those other brands that I named. You know, I think they would fit right in, and again, for the money, I don't think you can go wrong. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please go down below, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you'll be alerted when I post new videos. You can find me on Instagram at Mobile Club Maker, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.